Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Come on in. Sit down. Mike Tyson. Oh, I guess Mike Tyson had the match tonight. I didn't watch Mike Tyson. I was too busy watching this Throwback. Buckshot Kid, what is up? I'm doing good, man. Not feeling 100%, but I am here. About halfway through watching this, I got hit with some heartburn. So if I'm not quite my giddy self partway through this, please understand why. But I'm here. This brought back so many good memories. This, and I have not watched this since it aired on pay-per-view in 2005. So I'm guessing I myself and several others who may be watching this as I'm reviewing this, or a little before, a little after, whatever you guys decide to do. I'm guessing you're in the same boat that maybe you're watching it for the first time. Mark, the podcasting soldier. Much love, Mark. By the way, Mark is going to be joining me in a few weeks on the upcoming return of Final Resolution 2 Impact Wrestling, the Impact Plus specials. So psyched about that. Terrence Sullivan is in here. Zach Bonifer. Brian, the Buckshot Kid. That name still cracks me the hell up. I know it's late on a Saturday night, and most people probably aren't going to join here live, but that's okay. I still wanted to do this because I asked the guys from TNA earlier today. I was like, hey, are we going to do the throwback tonight? And Trent said, no, we're just going to keep it to this next Thursday. We'll bring it back. And I was like, oh, that's fine. I just, wanted to throw it out there to everyone. So, Terrence Sullivan, yeah, 16 years old. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. Paul Nelson in here. Lakers, what is up? Hakeem Fullerton. The regular crew is coming in here. Much love, everyone. Before we get into talking about these great memories from the first Final Resolution. Jeez Louise. Maybe I should have had one of those energy drinks tonight. We're going to cover a little bit of news that broke just about an hour ago, unfortunately. We're going to do a little... Put that up in the corner. Oh, something's missing. What's missing? A little Smash This Podcast. That's what's missing. We'll get a banner in here, because I know I just did... that too. All right, now we're all set. Now, some news broke. I wasn't going to do anything news related tonight, but seeing as this broke just about an hour ago, very sad. And this is classic TNA / Impact Wrestling, related, because he was he came in that, I believe, the first year. I'm not remembering exactly when he came in. I'm pretty sure it was in that first year of classic NWA TNA. Folks, I'm talking about the news that broke about Jimmy Rave he tweeted this out just earlier tonight, within the last, a couple hours ago, excuse me. It says, I've been very blessed for the last 21 years in professional wrestling. This past Tuesday, my world came crashing down when doctors found an infection in my left arm. I tried to tough it out, but by the time I saw a doctor, it was too late. And they had to amputate my left arm above the elbow. I can't even imagine. He goes on to say here, thus effectively ending my in-ring career. Thank you to everyone, he says. Lists a bunch of different mentors, students. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to type. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to DM me. So he's being very transparent about this. I give him credit for that. Please take your health much more seriously than I did. I am sorry for anyone I have let down. Support pro wrestling. I don't think anybody would come at him and say that, he's let them down. I'm sure he's in a really dark place right now, and he's kicking himself. And, and I don't know how much he's been mentoring, training others, wrestling himself, especially this past year. Not everybody has gotten out there this year. Only the brave have, but his career's unfortunately over now. And as far as in-ring career, hopefully someone will utilize what he still has up here and give this guy a chance at keeping some kind of wrestling career alive. So I just wanted to talk about this first before I get into this throwback review of Final Resolution 2005, and just say hashtag thank you, Jimmy Rave. Some of my favorite times were maybe a little more comical than others, but I know he was great in the X Division. I remember him doing the goofy Guitar Hero type gimmick with Lance Hoyt, I believe his name was back then, now known as Lance Archer, back in around the mid to late 2000s, I believe it was. It's all a little fuzzy, you get back that far in the early days of TNA and a lot of it kind of blurs together. But mid to late 2000s, I believe. But man, and he's had such a long career and he's been so many places. New Japan, Ring of Honor, among many others. So reach out to Jimmy Rave if you've seen any of his stuff throughout the years, and keep that hashtag going, folks. Spread some love for Jimmy Rave. Hashtag thank you, Jimmy. I had it going earlier tonight, so please keep it going for his sake. Let him know that people are thinking about him, especially this time of year. This is a tough time of year for everyone, and now coming into the holiday season, he's got to figure out what he's doing next. I'm sure he has tremendous hospital bills to pay for now, so maybe hit up his pro wrestling tees, if anything. I'm pretty sure he's got a pro wrestling tees. I looked at his Twitter. One of his recent pictures was, I'm pretty sure it's a t-shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees. So, go give him some love, folks. Hashtag thank you, Jimmy. or hashtag thank you, Jimmy Rave. But yeah, now on to, and not to start out on a bummer note, but I did want to report on it. So TNA Final Resolution 2005. So Impact Wrestling recently reported when they were bringing back their Impact, the app live events. They just gave everything a huge reboot on their site. The site looks great. Hopefully everybody's is working now. If not, the instructions are up on the site as far as how to get your account back. Mine's been back like a couple days after all the mishap. Like it was like a day after Turning Point, my stuff was all back, and they still put Turning Point up for free on YouTube, so no one has an excuse not to watch it. That was very kind of them to do that. Just bad timing on everyone's part, unfortunately. But everything should be back to normal. If not, I'm pretty sure the instructions are on the site there to get your account back if you're still having issues with it. Hakeem says 2005, from what I heard, was a great year. Yeah, man, it really was. It was 2004, 2005 was when I became a fan of this company, and it was so good between the Legends and the X Division. So much fun. And watching this back now, man, it brought back so many good memories. Elijah Washington, J-Bone's not watching the Tyson fight. No, I mean, I'm assuming Tyson won, but I don't really care who won. I mean, I loved Tyson back in the day when I was younger, back when boxing was a little different. Now I don't think really anybody cares about boxing. I could be completely wrong. I did hear that Mauro Ranallo was calling the match, so that makes me a little more interested in watching it. So, but yeah, let me know how it was if you watched it. That was I don't know if it's still on now. I know the pay-per-view was on earlier. I don't know how many matches were involved. I just have no idea. I heard they were charging like $60 for it or something. I'm like, oh hell no. No, not Grandpa Tyson. No. Love Mike, but no. Not paying for a Mike Tyson pay-per-view tonight. I'll watch highlights on social media later. But I'm drinking my Nestle's quick. If you're anywhere close to my age, you get that joke. So Mark says Marlo's one of the absolute best in wrestling. Fuck Corey Graves. I like Corey Graves, but I also appreciate Mauro Ranallo. I think me personally, I got stale on Mauro towards the end of his NXT run. I felt like they had him, whether it was him or what they made him do, I felt like it was constantly, like he was constantly up here, and you can't constantly be up here when you're calling a match because then there's no room for emotion. You know, if you're constantly screaming, I can't watch. You know, there's got to be builds and dips and roller coasters to help you bring the emotion out in a match, no matter what you're watching. And really, it took me away from NXT for a while. I still love him. He's still one of the best, but I'd be damn curious to see how he did tonight calling this boxing match with Tyson. But anyways, enough about Mike. Damn, Hakeem, with the ear-biting jokes. Oh, it's ruthless tonight. Ruthless. So, yeah, with the return of Final Resolution coming up just weeks away, I was in the mood to do a throwback tonight, and I was like, man, what do I do? And so I went on ImpactWrestling.com, and everything's on there now. The stats, the stars, the knockouts, the news, the Twitch link, the Impact Plus app link is on there. It's all under one site. You know, it's great. You don't have to go to this site for this. You don't have to go to this site for that. You can always catch something live on there. It's great. Man, I'm going to have to turn the heater on in this office soon. Damn, it's getting freaking cold. But then again, it's Wisconsin. I should not be surprised. Anyways, Final Resolution from TNA, January 16th, 2005. Folks, I remember watching this live. I was so excited about the possibility, keywords there, possibility, of a new NWA TNA champion beating Jeff Jarrett. I remember watching throughout this whole show, not so much when I'm doing the throwbacks with the TNI crew, but this is when I first really became a fan and remembering who were my favorites. And so much of it was, putting these characters in my video games and playing as them in the SmackDown games way back in the day. I don't remember exactly which game I had back then, but I remember watching this live, recording it, going match by match by match by match, and just creating all these characters, putting them all in my game. And it started out here with three live crews. Say that 10 times really fast. My God. 3 live crew with Conan, Ron Killings, and BG James taking on 3 of the best in the X division at this time. Was Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, and Michael Shane. Michael Shane, one of my favorites that you just don't see anything about anymore. I'd have to go do some more research and see when he changed his name around from what. He was also known, I believe, as either Michael Bentley or Matt Bentley. But Michael Shane, I remember one of the first guys from the X division that I just fell in love with, watching these guys fly all over the place. And of course, people later on in the show like Chris Sabin, Styles, and Christopher Daniels, Kazarian. Oh my God. Watching Kazarian here and knowing where he is now physically in his career, it's absolutely astonishing to think that he's still, well, he and Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels has slowed down a little bit. Kazarian, though, this year, in this COVID year, has completely taken his body definition, and he's just jacked out of his mind now. Like 0.05% body fat is what he looks like. He just looks ridiculous. I mean, Kazarian looks like he could have another world championship run if he was ever offered it, I mean, of course, now his job now is to help that next generation and put them over. But damn, guy still looks incredible. So it's just interesting seeing where people were almost 20 years ago and where they are now, or 16 years ago here, I guess. Conan still on fire here. Ron Killings, just so good. BG James looks like he lost a little weight here, maybe. Maybe it's just how he's dressed. I'm not sure. But compared to how he looked a little earlier, as we're talking about the 2003 stuff and the TNA throwbacks, he looks like he's in a little better shape here. So I don't know what was all going on. I know he wasn't sober here yet. That was a few years down the line when he got sober with Billy Gunn, But man, watching Christopher Daniels and Kazarian and Michael Shane tear it up with 3 Live Crew, such a fun match. 3 Live Crew comes off with the win here to start out this pay-per-view. Next, we got Prime Time Elix Skipper versus Sanjay Dutt. And they talked about, as this started, that Triple X had recently split up. And they were showing highlights from that classic move that Elix Skipper does, the Hurricanrana off the top of the 6-sided cell. One of the all-time wrestling classic moves in any company, in my opinion. But he looked great here. Comes out all white, and I was like, oh my God, it's another one that I put in my game back in the day. Specifically remembered that in-ring get-up with the white vest robe looking jacket, like it all came back to me. I was like, holy cow. So many good memories. Primetime comes off with a win here in this X Division match against Sanjay Dutt. Both just absolutely amazing. One move that stood out to me, Primetime, while Sanjay Dutt was climbing up the turnbuckles to get on to the top turnbuckle and do, I'm guessing, some backwards moonsault, Primetime Elix Skipper jumps up to the top rope next to him, springboard drop kicks Sanjay Dutt off the top rope down to the floor. Absolutely devastating. Styles, what is up, dude? Who's ready to smash this? Smash that like button. Smash that sub button or the follow button if you're over on the Twitch. Go give that Twitch some love. Welcome. I know it's late. So yeah, hell of a match between these two. Just reminding how deep the X Division was back then. And man, it's just always been a highlight in this company. Next, interesting match. I did not remember. There's a few matches in this pay-per-view that I did not remember. But I did remember Kid Cash from this one because of his entrance gear. And creating this character, I know I'm going to reference my video game a lot throughout this, but that was one of the things that stuck with me back then. Is I'd see these characters from this pay-per-view and I'd put them in my game. And this is before everything was online and everything. You'd have those square little cards for your PlayStation, and you'd fill that up and whatever. Styles will get that one. He's a retro guy. If anybody remembers that first PlayStation. Actually, no, it would have been a PS2. But I remember those square little memory cards, they were called. Man. Kid Cash comes out in this fuzzy, like, trench coat robe looking deal with yin and yang symbols all up and down it. And I specifically remember trying to make this and place all the yin and yang symbols like perfectly all over his gear, and he had a cowboy hat. I don't remember this feud, but I remember what Kid Cash looked like. And he wrestled Dustin Rhodes. This is one of his many infamous runs in this company, because throughout the 2000s, he went back and forth between WWF/WWE and TNA/Impact Wrestling. Still in decent shape here. The psychology of this match was just crazy, though. Yes, the 8MB memory cards. Yes. Never turn your PS2 off if you don't own one. Oh, man. Yeah, you plug one in now and you pop in your game and it's all just gone. It's like, oh, man, you don't have any of it left. But the psychology in this match, crazy. Kid Cash, Jiminy Christmas. I'm going to pop open one of those energy drinks. You know what I need. You know what it is. I just figured it out. Folks, it's that time. It's time to bust out one of these and get the lollipops going. Lakers says he still has his PS1 and PS2. Yeah, I still got mine around somewhere, but they're just collecting dust in the bottom of a dresser drawer or something somewhere. They're probably just a few feet away from me in my other entertainment center down there, and all my games and stuff. If I remember correctly. I haven't turned it on. I just turned on my Xbox yesterday and like updated it. Had like 1,000 updates because I hadn't played it all year. Got rid of a bunch of games, downloaded some new ones. So I'm going to be playing some video games soon. I don't know if I'm going to be twitching. I don't know. I swear to God, I'm sober. I'm just tired. I don't know if I'm going to be, doing video game play live because I still have to figure that out. I don't have like all my tech that I need for that as far as like headset and whatever. But that may happen in the new year. We'll have to wait and see. Watch J-Bone play some horrible video games. Or rather, my gameplay would be horrible as opposed to the game itself. Rocket League J-Bone. I played that with my son a little bit over the course of this last year. It's another one I'm horrible at. All I played back in the day was wrestling games. It's all I played. And a little bit of classic Call of Duty with an old buddy of mine. And he'd kick my ass. Horrible. He'd kick my ass so bad. Yes, the CBD lollipops that are not CBD lollipops. Style says, I know what you need for this. Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do, brother. So we continue here. The psychology of this match between Cash and Dustin Rhodes was just, the match was good, but the ending made no sense. It made absolutely zero sense because the whole match was tremendous limb work done by Kid Cash on Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes wasn't even walking by the end of this match, but he still won. One Bulldog beat Kid Cash. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I don't remember my reaction was back 16 years ago when I watched this live. But damn, I mean, because I was a different fan back then than I am now, and I think anybody could say that. As far as if you were watching stuff back then compared to now, you've absorbed a lot of wrestling over the years. You have different favorites. You treat it different. You take it in differently. But watching this again, I was like, how the heck? Who booked this shit? I mean, I get it. Dusty Rhodes wanted his son to win. And I'm guessing this is like right after he came back to the company. One of the few times he did. But damn, Kid Cash just destroyed him here. He really did. But Dustin beats him with one bulldog at the end of the match. I was like, hell no. That's fucked up. Could you imagine people today watching that match and be like, oh, fuck that shit, Oh, man. I mean, I can chuckle at it now and be like, oh, okay. Come on, man. But, man, yeah, Kid Cash still a few years into his NWA TNA career here. Just a workhorse. Just kicking ass. Just unbelievable. So good. But yeah, Dustin Rhodes wins this one. I was like, I was just shaking my head, just kind of laughing. Next, we got Raven versus Eric Watts. Now, I don't remember this one at all. Other than I think I put Raven in my game at some point. And this is back in the infancy of also like news boards, like looking up cause on different sites. And they'd have like a list of all these people and you click on them and then you'd see exactly how to make them and all that kind of crazy shit. Adam Impact, what's up, man? Raven's still one of my favorites back then, but I don't remember Eric Watts in this feud at all. Like, he's actually wrestling here. What's sad is he tries so hard to have a good match, but partway through this, he tears, I'm guessing he tears a bicep or tore something or tweaked something in his arm. Ref can't even raise his arm after he wins here. And he choke slams him for the win. Pretty good back and forth in this match. I mean, of course, I was rooting for Raven. I didn't remember who won this one. And then at the end, Raven grabs a mic and he tries to have Watts come back down to the ring because he's asking for forgiveness, but then goes after him, grabs a trash can, throws it at Eric Watts. Eric Watts falls off the stage. I mean, he's already, destroyed himself, especially his arm. Friggin' falls off the stage, goes through a table. And then security, of course, runs to Watts' side. It's a weird ending. So Watts wins the match, but Raven wins the evening. Kind of wonky, but still effective if you're a Raven fan. And of course I am. So next, And I don't remember this one either. Very vaguely. But Jeff Hardy introduces a new look here, and he's got like hair sticking out and braids like all over the place. It's crazy. This is like a grudge match between Scott Hall and Jeff Hardy. This is Jeff Hardy getting Scott Hall back from the interference of the championship match where Nash and Hall came down and screwed Jeff Hardy in the match versus Jeff Jarrett, the first TNA pay-per-view earlier the year before. And so this is all part of that same storyline, I guess. Scott Hall comes down, still rocking the whole Kings of Wrestling gimmick, looking like Elvis come back from the dead. I mean, I did not like the Kings of Wrestling gimmick. I remember back then was not a fan of this. It was all, glittered out, the black and the classic, red drip look, but it was all, looking like Elvis. Just horrible. And Scott was just not very good in the ring at this time either. Jeff's still amazing. Super over with the crowd still here. This is still his first calendar year in the company, so he's still very popular. Yes, I'm talking about Victory Road. You got it. Yeah, that one, yes. Scott Hall looking like dollar store. Elvis Presley in this match. Yeah, dude, it was so bad. He had like some kind of like plastic wig over his hair that looked like Elvis hair. It was horrible, The comical part to this. Oh, and Piper is the special. They called him something weird. Troubleshooting enforcer ref special whatever thing. I don't know. He was a special guest referee for this. Piper's still very popular here. And he checks, the ref is supposed to check everyone at the start of the match. A lot of times it just goes by the wayside. He did it here. Check Jeff. Then he goes to check Scott, turns him around. He's like frisking him. And now this part I remember. I don't remember the match, but I remember this comedic part here. He's frisking him and finds like a plastic knife in his boot, takes that, chucks it, still frisking him, finds a fork in his sleeve, pulls that out, throws it away, and Scott Hall's like, oh, I don't know how that got there, Keeps checking him for stuff, checking his shoulders, finds a chain that was like tucked down in his sleeve or something, pulls it out of his collar, this long chain, throws that away. And finally, Piper's like, all right, now let's start the match. Starts the match. Scott Hall's like, you know what? Now I'm going to check you. Turns Piper around, starts frisking him, finds handcuffs in his back pocket. Like, oh, what's this? Piper's like, whatever, let's start the match. And the match wasn't that good. But I remember that comedic part from the beginning. It's so goofy. Jeff Hardy gets his revenge here. Wins. Damn it, Coach DeBoer. We're getting to that. So yeah, some fun memories there. Oh, but then I almost forgot to mention at the end here, Abyss comes and attacks Jeff Hardy. Now, Abyss gets quite the pop here. He was not with Jim Mitchell, came out by himself, but he attacked Jeff here. So, I mean, you know, I don't remember that feud either. That's all really old. But now part of me is like, oh man, now I want to see what happens next. But anyways, Abyss attacks Jeff at the end here, destroys him, and then security comes out, breaks it up. Next, we have the triple threat elimination match for the number one contendership, leading to the main event later in the evening. You know, who's going to face Jeff Jarrett for the NWA championship? You got Monty Brown versus Kevin Nash versus DDP. Now, earlier in the night, Kevin Nash comes up to DDP and he's like, hey, how about we get rid of Monty Brown and then, you know, I won't lay a hand on you the whole match. We get rid of Monty Brown and then you and I have a gentleman's match back and forth. What do you say? And DDP's like, dude, all the way back to the NWO, I was always a solo guy. You know this. And he's like, trust Kevin Nash? Really? You want me to trust Kevin Nash? It was funny. And so now here we are. Triple threat elimination match. Monty Brown, Kevin Nash, DDP. And I remember loving Monty Brown in this company back then. Kevin Nash, still one of my favorites. I don't remember I do not remember DDP's run here. It's all just blank. I don't know why I don't remember this. I know he had a run. Because he was in okay, so, you know, this is all post WCW. But he was in WWF from 2001 to 2002 for like a calendar year. And it was during that whole like invasion angle. He did the thing against Undertaker, which just didn't come off really that good, in my opinion. I remember thinking, like, I was happy he was there, but just how they booked the whole thing with Undertaker just felt weird. You know, it was awkward as hell against the American Badass Taker at that time. But DDP's still in great shape here. Kevin Nash, not really very good shape. Did a lot of hemming and hawing during this match. Just kind of stood off to the side while DDP really worked with Monty Brown well. Kevin Nash did a lot of mocking on Monty Brown. Really didn't look like he wanted to work with him. And then just as it looks like it looks like Nash is about to take out DDP. He runs at him, looks like he's going to clothesline him over the top rope, which I totally forgot that was a way to eliminate people in this match. It was pin, submission, and throw him over the top rope. I'm like, throw him over the top rope? I'm like, no, I forgot. They really did some different stuff back then. So, yeah, DDP ends up sending Kevin Nash over the top rope, and I'm scratching my head. I'm like, wow, he's eliminated. Okay. Because I couldn't remember I remember who was in the main event, but I couldn't remember anything from this match, really. So Kevin Nash's is eliminated, but then he goes after DDP and kind of, messes with him. He sticks around for a while, interferes a little. And the match ends when DDP is about to hit a cutter on Monty Brown coming off the ropes. Monty Brown counters it, throws DDP into the ropes. Monty Brown keeps his momentum going, bounces out the ropes, pounces the hell out of DDP. 1, 2, 3. It's Monty Brown heading into the main event for this pay-per-view. So, a little goofy, but, it is what it is back then. The right person went over here still, in my opinion. But I remember who won. In watching this match, then it reminded me who won the pay-per-view and how frustrated I was. And I felt that frustration coming back here at the end of this match, like, fucking Jarrett, because I hated Jarrett back then. I mean, and we joke about that over on TNI, the whole Super Jarrett didn't want to put anybody over because, he had to protect the company and protect the championship and whatever. But, oh my God. Yeah, all those feelings came back about how I just loathed Jeff Jarrett back then. It's crazy. So we continue. Monty Brown wins here. Crowd is pretty pumped. I mean, he was really over in the company back then. Now we got, all right, next, we got the first of 3 championship matches. We got the NWA Tag Team titles on the line. Team Canada, consisting of Eric Young and Bobby Roode, with Coach D'Amour by their side. I had so much fun watching different members of Team Canada during this one, and all the fun memories came back watching this. And they faced America's Most Wanted, who were trying to become, I forget what they said. They were trying to become either either 5th or 6th time tag team champions. I forget. I believe they were trying to become 6-time champions here. The back and forth psychology in this match, sometimes AMW would be up, sometimes Team Canada would be up. Man, and I remember how goofy Eric Young was back then, but he was still so good. Like, he wasn't like dangerous like he was now, but he was still a good wrestler. And man, little did I know back in 2005 what he'd be like now. If you would have told me now, I'd been like, you're out of your mind. Of course, he's not world champ now, but, just had a world championship run in Impact Wrestling. If you would have told me back then, I'd been like, nah, you're smoking something, Bobby Roode, Eric Young, so good here. Classic Coach Scott D'Amour. Just losing his ever-loving mind, channeling a lot of Bobby Heenan-esque moments throughout this match and the next one. Just so goofy. AMW ends up winning this one. Johnny Devine comes down, and after I watched this, I remembered how this ended. Great ending. Scott D'Amour ends up, I don't know if they found the handcuffs at ringside from a couple matches ago, or was it the last match? No, a couple matches ago. But AMW handcuffs Scott D'Amore to one of the 4 giant steel trusses at ringside. And Scott D'Amore's handcuffed. He's just shaking. He's just screaming and frothing. It's just hilarious. So damn funny. Johnny Devine, part of Team Canada, is at ringside. And, of course, he's running interference. And he's got a chair and ends up not looking, swings the chair up and back over his head and conks one of the members of Team Canada in the head. I believe it was Eric Young, which Eric Young already had a golf ball size welt on his forehead sticking out like this far. It was crazy. After I saw this in the match, I was like, oh my God, I remember that. Like, how did he continue this match? He had this giant, what do they call it? Hematoma? I forget what they call it. But anyways, hits Eric Young in the head with the chair backwards, and Johnny Devine's like, yeah, of course I got him. He's thinking he hit someone from AMW in the head. And he turns around, big, goofy, deer in the headlights look, like, hey, I helped our team win. Oh, wait, shit. No, I fucked up. Look on his face is priceless. And of course, Scott D'Amore is just losing his mind even more. Goose egg. Thank you, Mark. It's late and I shouldn't be doing this late. I'm tired. Thank you. So yeah, AMW tag champs, and just reiterates from even way back then that tag team wrestling was so important in this company, still is today. So much fun. Now, throughout the night, there was this competition between Johnny Fairplay, Trinity, and Tracy Brooks. And 2 out of the 3 were going to become like winners and or assistants or whatever to Dusty Rhodes, who was kind of like the GM at the time. I remember this. It was so goofy. He was always sitting in the back of his truck on a bale of hay and a big old sticker on the back of the tailgate that said Dusty's office or whatever it said. So they had to search the arena for a clue and get it back to Dusty. And whoever won, whoever didn't come back with the clue or part of the clue was going to get sent home. And it was Johnny Fairplay was the odd man out. Trinity and Tracy took the envelope, had it ripped in half, and they each gave half of it to Dusty. So they won, and he told them, once they delivered that to him, said, now you have to go find me a tag team and bring them back here. And whoever brings back the better tag team will become my personal secretary. This is my best Dusty. It's as good as it's going to get tonight. And I vaguely remember this stuff. I don't remember Johnny Fairplay, but watching this again, I'm like, oh yeah, Johnny Fairplay. He was some guy from reality television way back. I don't even remember. I was never much into reality television much back then. Not even now. It's like I just don't watch it. The Miz and Mrs., that's about as much reality television as I watched lately. By the way, it's a very funny show. If you don't watch it, you should watch it. I love The Miz. Can't get enough of that show. It's ridiculous. So, and I don't remember who Tracy Brooks and Trinity bring to the show in light of them winning in trying to compete for the secretary spot for Dusty Rhodes, but now I'm like, oh man, I'm racking my brain. I cannot remember at all who they brought to the company. Had to have been some new people. So what's next here? Oh, this was so much fun. I remember how insanely wild this match was. This is the Ultimate X match for the X Division Championship. Petey Williams defending. Of course, Scott D'Amour's there at ringside, losing his mind again. Gets ejected from the match. And just Coach Scott D'Amour just losing his ever-loving mind after getting ejected. It's just too damn funny. It's he was so good. I really needed to watch this. It brought back some really good memories. Chris Sabin versus Petey Williams defending versus AJ Styles. Man, all three of these guys just gold in the match. And back then, the Canadian Destroyer was a feared move. Now everyone does it. Now you see him all the time from everybody and anybody. You know, Brian Cage hits 10 Canadian Destroyers in a match. You know, it's not a feared thing anymore. Back then, when Petey Williams hit it, you're done. You were absolutely done. One of the classic moves, highlights that still gets played to this day. AJ Styles about halfway across the rope heading towards the center of the ring. Chris Sabin springboarding off the top rope, missile drop kick to AJ Styles, hits him so hard, flips him around, somersaults, lands flat on his back. Unfreaking believable. I mean, in all likelihood, AJ Styles could have landed on his head, killed himself. This match was just insane. And this was the 6th Ultimate X match ever. I thought it was maybe the first, and then I looked up to see, like, you know, when was the first one? The first one is actually coming up in about 10 weeks or so from where we are now in the Throwback series. It was 50 or 60 something. It's coming up. And, man. Lakers with the nah, hey, you know, goodbye. Talk about Scott Moore leaving. Freaking the fuck out right after getting ejected. Yeah, dude, it was so funny. Him just like stomping, jumping up and down. His face was as red as his Team Canada jersey. Oh, so funny, dude. So funny. Great memories from a very young Coach D'Amour. Man, it just makes me want Team Canada to come back even more now. I'd pop so hard. I don't know if we're getting Team Canada. I really don't. You know, there's a lot of new stuff happening in today's Impact Wrestling, new factions being formed, a lot of question marks as to what's behind all these new little groups like Eric Young with Joe Doring, Sammy with Ken Shamrock, and you kind of like, okay, is this maybe a Team Canada? Is this maybe a Team Canada? It's hard to tell. It's crazy. But this was such a wacky, wild, fun match. AJ Styles by the end of this could barely move, I mean, the last like several minutes of the match, he was just laying on the apron just staring up at the lights because he was just so fried. It was, I mean, he sold this, you know, his being hurt in the match like crazy. Like one of his arms was banged up or something. The end of this match, absolute insanity. Both, and I could not, like, in looking up stuff for this match, I saw who won the match, but I could not remember how he won it. Chris Sabin and Petey Williams, both at the center, at the top, hanging upside down, both have a hand on the belt. Petey Williams undoes the strap, so now they're playing tug of war, with the belt while they're both hanging there. AJ Styles springboards off the top rope, swipes it out of both their hands, knocks it down, grabs it, lands. Your new X Division champion. Triple Crown by this time, by the way. Just unbelievable. Just such good memories of how good this X Division was back then. Everybody just at absolute top of their game. So good. Now, on to the main event here. For the NWA World title, Monty Brown won the triple threat elimination match to face Jeff Jarrett, defending. Boos all day for Jeff Jarrett. Just, this crowd was so ready for a new champion and was so behind Monty Brown. Chants all throughout the match. On their feet through the whole match. Just so excited at the possibility of a new champion. And so many times at the end of this match, Monty had him. And the ref, Rudy Charles, even taking an unbelievable pounce from Monty Brown. It's crazy. Just pounced him right out of his damn shoes. Like, there's not, I mean, Rudy Charles sold the shit out of this. Looked like he just like knocked him out cold, sent him flying, feet crashed into the ring ropes, just died right there. It's just crazy. Andrew Thomas coming in, second ref to finish the match. Jeff Jarrett at the end of this match gives Monty Brown not one, not two, but 3 strokes to finally beat him. Like every time he gave him the stroke, he'd bounce right back up. Give him a stroke, bounce right back up. Like, damn. just hilarious. Hear the news about Mickey Whipwreck? No, I did not. Let me finish this and then we'll get into that. I don't know what news there is. I'm scared to ask because, man, there's been some crazy shit lately. But yeah, Jeff Jarrett wins here. And I, like, all the emotions came back that I remember feeling back then when I watched this live January 2005. Like, fuck Jeff Jarrett. It was so, because back then I had the same feeling about him that I did about Triple H, because Triple H was champion so much back then. And I couldn't stand him. He was always champion, biggest heel. I mean, you know, I respect Triple H all day now, for everything he did. But back then, I compared Jeff Jarrett to Triple H being champ all the time. Couldn't stand him, And, man, I was like, dude, he was so close. Man, Monty Brown should have been champ. I still feel like that. Such a wasted opportunity. It had been so great to have Monty Brown as champ back in the day. The one big thing, you know, and then he went on later to have such a sad career in WWE, you know. 3+ times. I don't know about 3+ times, but at least during this time, he should have been champ years, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, he was practically a day one guy too. He showed up very early in the reviews that me and the TNA brothers were doing back from the 2002 time. So crazy. 3 strokes. You're out. Monty Brown. Jeff Jarrett retains his NWA World title. And that's the pay-per-view. Folks, it was so much fun watching this. And I can't wait for the new Final Resolution that's coming up in a few weeks. December 12th, I believe it is. You go to the news. December 12th. Yep. Oh, isn't that funny? Match, I just went to like the news right here. And right before Bob Ryder's passing, unfortunately, they list it was match of the week is Monty Brown versus DDP versus Kevin Nash. Final Resolution 2005. Look at that. I didn't even know they featured that. That's funny. Too funny. So, December 12th, Final Resolution. I'll be covering it here. With Mark's going to join me for that. Can't wait because he helped me with Trent was there too because we actually covered it for TNI as well. But majority of the coverage is here. It'll be YouTube and Twitch. Not sure if we're also going to do the TNI again. We'll see. I'm not going to assume anything yet. We'll plan it more once it gets closer. But nonetheless, it's still going to be covered here primarily. So, Marcus Corvon. Yeah, I remember that Shibbity Christmas. What a horrible name. I remember that back then. Crazy. So, just reading the comments here. Oh, Mickey Whipwright. Oh, 8-year-old son had an emergency appendectomy. Oh, my goodness. Wow. No, I did not hear about that. That's crazy. Is he okay? I hope to God he's okay. Let me... Come on. Trying to find... I don't think I spelled that right. There it is. How do you spell Mikey? Mickey, whatever. My son is going, this is just a couple hours ago. My son is going for an emergency appendectomy right now. He's 8 years old. I had to reassure him over FaceTime everything would be okay as he was hysterical, crying and scared to get surgery. At least my wife could be there. Fuck you, COVID. Fuck you. Oh, yeah. Because of all the COVID shit, only one person, namely a parent, would be allowed in there. Oh, that's so sad that he can't be at his son's side. Damn. Unbelievable. What a fucking mess this whole year, and just how it affects everyone. How many people ended up in a hospital and family couldn't even be there with them? That is so fucked up. Unbelievable. Well, I hope and pray that he came through all right. Man. Lakers, Canadian Destroyer. Sorry, still watching the Epic Classic match. So goofy. We live in hell at the moment. Yeah, man, it's so messed up. It really is. What a shit year. What an absolute shit year. And sadly, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but sadly, I don't think next year is going to be much better. The way the country is literally downward spiraling right now. I hope it is. I hope to God it is, but damn. So. Yeah, it's been bad. So, so yeah, when I get off of here, I'm going to retweet that, try to send him some positive vibes, let him know his son and his family are in my prayers. And by all means, hit up Bakey Whip Rep. Go send him some love, man. I mean, I'm sure he's just scared right now, you know? Yeah, hashtag fuck 2020, right? And don't forget, folks, hit up Jimmy Rave. Give him some love, too. Hashtag thank you, Jimmy, or thank you, Jimmy Rave. Hit him up on Twitter. Go give him some love. He's can't even imagine what he's feeling right now. Can't even imagine. So that's it. We're going to call it a night. That is the throwback review for the first ever Final Resolution back from 2005. What a blast. So many good memories. The classic NWA TNA days. Man, I can't, it just makes me more and more excited for Final Resolution coming up. And there's a lot of question marks too. You know, news coming out that they taped several different finishes to matches. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Mark's comment here. Like, I pictured Mark saying this, but it was in Cartman's voice. 2020 can suck my nuts. Or was that more like Mike Tyson on crack? I don't know. Either or. But anyways. HD, what's up? You came in at the end, but hey, you came in. That's all right. You just got to hit the rewind button now. So yeah, that's the review. Tomorrow night, Sunday night, head on over to TNI for the Sunday dinner. The Impact Plus Weekly will all be on there talking about the latest Impact Wrestling explosion from the Impact Plus app. So join us for that. And moral of this review, 2005 was amazing for TNA and fuck Super Jarrett. Right? Sorry for being late. Who won the Tyson fight? I couldn't tell you, dude. I didn't watch it. I was watching the throwback right before I just reviewed it. So I'm sure all you got to do is go to that Twitter box and, oh, excuse me. You could probably find results pretty easily. That's assuming it's over. I don't even know. I don't know how long the pay-per-view was. So So, all right, that's it. Catch us tomorrow night for the Sunday dinner. Impact Plus Weekly over on Total Nonstop Impact. As we get out of here, always, folks, don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of my content hits your screen. Good night, folks. We'll see you mañana.